Current road conditions to Big Bear Lake, 330 to 18 to Big Bear. Watch out for the falling rock. Carry your chains. Things are a little gnarly, but not too bad. The fog gets pretty bad here and there, but otherwise, take your time. Drive safe.
Warren says that she's going to go after big businesses and lobbyists who have tilted the government in their favor. The partial government shutdown has made the immigration court back loggier.
It delayed about 60,000 hearings, pushing to 800,000 the number of pending cases. At least one judge told the AP she has no openings on her calendar until 2022. The Executive Office for Immigration Reviews, Catherine Mattingly, says immigrants can file a motion asking for an earlier date if needed. The 35-day shutdown halted immigration court hearings for immigrants who were not detained, including asylum seekers hoping to stay in the U.S. Aaron Bender, KFI News.
Federal health officials say there's no sign flu season has peaked. The CDC says there has been a rise in flu cases in recent weeks with widespread activity in 47 states and Puerto Rico. Doctors are warning people over the age of 65 are being hit especially hard by this year's virus. Research shows people who have had a flu shot usually experience much milder symptoms if they do get sick. The CDC also says there's still time to get vaccinated. The man known as the Einstein of the oceans has died in La Jolla.
Scripps oceanographer Walter Monk has died at the age of 101 years old. Monk made amphibious landings safer during World War II, almost single-handedly revolutionized the science of oceanography, and helped found the University of California, San Diego.
I think I have the world's best job, and I pretty well do what I really want to do, and I get paid for it.
The Scripps Institution of Oceanography at UCSD announced that he passed away February 8th at home. Tessa Barrera, KFI News.
Crash in downtown LA. This on the 10.
That's on the 10 westbound side to the 110 south. They crashed, blocking lanes of that transition road. Traffic flows back to Alameda Street. And in downtown LA, 101 north to the 110 south. That crash has cleared from that transition road. Traffic remains a little slow back to Alameda Street.
It looks pretty clear. Like this, all the way up. So unless it's super icy, be careful. Otherwise, you're good to go. I recommend traveling late at night. It's the best time to travel. There's nobody else on the road. Get into your condo around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Wake up and go to paradise. Or come up late, deal with all the traffic, get frustrated. It's up to you. I choose the latter. Or just live there. That helps too. But we all can live there, so I'm lucky enough to do that. I will help you out and get you to Big Bear if you need. BigBearRideService.com, which consists of me, my other car, and me. So I'm a private concierge car service, so I pick and choose who I take, and that is very nice. So call me, give me your ride need, and definitely be very friendly. I can tell if you're smiling from across the phone. Alright then, have a great day. We're going to film a little longer just to give you an idea that the road is clear all the way to Big Bear. Thank you. Good night. A little foggy, not unusual in this area. Coming up on Running Springs. Probably in a second won't be able to see that car or truck in front of us anymore.
talking about Venezuela melting down. I mean, what do I always say? The world is always melting down. ISIS is melting down. Lebanon might be melting down, and we do know that Venezuela is in the middle of a big melt, and we will assess the possibility that the Venezuelan armed forces, and the army in particular, actually turn against their patron. Hugo Chavez was, of course, their original patron. Now his shadow of a predecessor, Nicolas Maduro, and based on the word of some exiled Venezuelan generals, as well as CBS, on the ground there in Venezuela, talking to an active service Venezuelan National Guardsmen. So I'll explain to you how their national defense works, and who influences them, and the whole thing. But of course, and I'll play for you some of the audio as the night goes on, all sorts of conspiracy theories going on, because this week, from Monday until early Saturday morning, a special operations exercise that has become practically an annual thing.
In these cases, your best bet is just to follow the car in front of you. Obviously not off a cliff, but don't try to speed, don't try to pass. My advice, as a driver of many 20 plus years driving this road, is to drive slow and give yourself some distance, and not enough to lose him, but be right on the guy in front of you. If he gets in an accident, stop. If he doesn't, keep cruising with him. There's my tip number 1013. Drive safe. That's all that matters. Especially if you got that many people in the car, like I can see. One of those stickers, it looks like they got 3 families inside that Suburban, so definitely don't want to go speeding around there. You could wipe out 3 families all at once.
Remarkably detailed, even though it's the night, a very detailed night shot up close of something that you rarely see, and that's a hovering special operations helicopter with a bunch of Delta Force guys fast roping down. Fast roping is a technique, if you've ever seen Black Hawk Down. It's a technique where a thick rope is hung on a bar on both sides of a helicopter, and troops at about 100 feet above the ground literally just grab the rope and then wrap it around their knees and feet, and you drop. You keep it going through your feet, your knees, and you have
you get to running springs.
Do it really quickly.
The natural halfway point up the mountain. You can either head towards Lake Arrowhead from here, or continue on 26 miles to Big Bear. There's no other choice but to go but Big Bear. So, of course, that's where we're headed. God, it looks like it had no headlights on.
So the helicopter has this dynamic pressure going on both sides. 200-pound men coming down left and right, and then suddenly braking when they get close to the ground. Here's the reason.
Once I get home, it's going to snow like a foot and a half while I'm sleeping.
And it's not cold. Yeah. I will take my sweet ass.
That's what the weather says, so I hope. As soon as I wake up, it's going to stop. That's what it said. That way I can go snowboarding. Not kidding. On the best day of the year, I had to give my pass to my buddy, let him go have that epic day. He came with his daughter, and I already promised him, so. How could I have known it was going to snow 3 days in a row? But I am a man of my word, so I let him use my season pass for the day.
Probably a leftover from the age of sail. Right?
You're welcome, brother.
Royal Navy chaps.
I love you to death.
Rapidly possible.
You've saved my life more than
of course,
once.
their hands were calloused, and no one can
At least I can do.
This technique, just simply because there was between the
Chains on. I love the sounds of chains on the concrete.
there was much fast roping happening all around Los Angeles, and it really is no different than the fast roping from last year and the year before and the year before and the year before. This year was a little bigger, and I should say officially, the media advisory was dropped on February 4th. Okay, they don't give a lot of prior notice when they do this, but if you notice, it is usually this time of year. It was last year, the year before. Thing two, the reason that you know that this is a Delta Force-led exercise coming out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, is because it has no name. Okay, this is not Operation Jade Helm, nothing like that. Delta Force doesn't announce to civilian media what they call these kind of military operations in urbanized terrain. They don't reveal what they call this operation. You know why? You don't need to know. It's the Army downtown. But it does happen in other towns. It happens in Dallas, sometimes happens in Atlanta, but it happens more in Los Angeles than anywhere else for one simple reason, is that unlike Dallas and unlike Atlanta, downtown Los Angeles, heavily built up urbanized area, wide streets, tall buildings, but at 6 p.m. on Friday or 6 p.m. on Monday or Tuesday, it basically empties out. The only people in downtown LA are the hobos who are pooing on streets, maybe people staying late, but I mean, if you've ever been to downtown LA after 6 p.m. on a weekday night, then that's the first thing that strikes you about it, is how empty it is. Maybe not really till 6:30 or 7, but bottom line, by 10 or 11 p.m., downtown LA, even with all the gentrification and the hipsters, it's a ghost town. You know, there's that famous scene in the Tom Cruise movie that Michael Mann, the guy who did Heat and all those great movies, the Tom Cruise movie where he's the hippie, and he gets a cab, and Jamie Foxx is the cab driver, and he has him go to these different addresses where he's doing like 4 hits in one night. Flies down from San Francisco, he's going to do 4 hits in one night, and then make it look like Jamie Foxx said, you know, things are going to end well with Jamie Foxx.
We're getting there.
Tom Cruise's
So your gateway to Big Bear, Arctic Circle.
So there's a famous scene in that movie.
One spot where you cross the fingers that you got all this way if you're gonna
11 at
make
night
it.
when they're shooting, and they're downtown. They took minimal permitting because back in 2004, it was shot. It was the same thing was going on. So there was a throwaway scene. They had the cameras rolling, and you could see this long empty street. I forgot what it was, like Western or something. You know, it's right in downtown LA. And an urban coyote just strolls out onto Western Avenue. Tracks out, comes out, fully red, and he stands there and he looks at the camera. And then he just turns around and talks up. Well, Michael Mann said, watch the movie. That's one of the movie. So that scene happens about 3 quarters away from the movie. And it seems to have no context, but that was the point of it, which was this is an urban wasteland with the sun's down. So that's why Delta Force comes here and does this. They do it with the full cooperation of LAPD and LA Sheriff's Department, and this has become a mutual relationship. At LAPD SWAT get to observe, to meet with the Delta guys. This is sort of the payoff for LA. Is the Army finds out that it's a really good training area. LAPD gets to trade techniques with Delta Force for free. Go to LAPD ranges or Sheriff's Department ranges and things on the QT. And Delta has a lot of stuff to teach LAPD, but here's the real beauty of it, is that LAPD SWAT has a lot to teach the military about urban operations. Because LAPD SWAT, they don't work up in the San Gabriel Mountains. They don't do hostage rescues at Mount, what's it called? With the observatory up in the way up there behind the foothills of 210. LAPD does urban stuff, and nobody beats a big city American SWAT team for knowing urban stuff. That means high rises, small bump phones. Okay, nobody knows that like LAPD SWAT, LA Sheriff Department SWAT. So they have a lot to train with Delta, and then again, Delta has a lot to train them. So that's part of the reason. I'll tell you some of the wacky conspiracy theories when we come back. This is the Dark Secret Place. Brian Six in here till 11 o'clock on KFI AM 640. More simulating talk. Michael Chappelle with the news.
A man driving what they think is a Dodge Charger. Police were chasing in Inglewood, ended up crashing into a bunch of parked cars after cops lost sight of the Charger for a time. The guy was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say that his car overturned during the crash at about 2:30 this morning. The LAPD says the woman that crashed her car into the Harbor Area Police Station in San Pedro had a baby in the car with her. The woman apparently tried to put it in reverse after she crashed at about 5 this morning, but her car was trapped by a barrier. She and the child were apparently okay. Justin Fairfax, the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, is reaffirming his decision. He's not resigning after a second woman has come forward with accusations of sexual assault. Many people are calling for Fairfax, a Democrat, to step down. He says the sex with the women was consensual. Check out the forecast, see what's slowing you down on the 110 next.
It's the mattress sale that'll help you adjust your attitude every night. It's Citizen's adjustable bed sale. It's Friday through Monday only. I don't think I'm going to be able to mentally adjust to this sale, Larry. We're adjusting prices on every adjustable bed in stock, up to $1,000 off. Adjustable beds aren't for just people with gray hair.
identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
For official rules and more information about contests
People
on
in a
this
hurry to
station,
get out
go
of
to
here.
identifyam640.com.
I mean, I'd be too.
You got two problems actually to warn you about. One will make you late, the other is dangerous.
Just to give you an estimate, from most days at 4 o'clock, if you leave Bear or Summit, you're looking at a 2 to 4 hour drive to the bottom of the mountain. That's just an average. The earlier you get going, obviously the earlier you'll get down the hill. So I recommend leaving around 1:30, and then you shouldn't have any extra time traveling at all. So you can continue enjoying that awesome day. Don't forget to come back and visit us again, Big Bear Lake, California. And always use BigBearRideService.com while traveling. Thank you. My name is Daniel Compton, and I will be your driver. So, kick back, let me drive, and I guarantee you'll enjoy your vacation. Have a nice night.
I think his voice is higher than hers. So, at least there, anyway, best of luck to them. I like them. It's definitely a return to the rock and or roll.
Did you say no nominations?
No, I thought they were.
Yeah, they
You
were
know, it's
almost
funny,
half.
Yeah, I mean, this song came out about a year and a half ago. And this one friend of mine, whose on-air name is a Legio, and it's a nickname on this other FM rock station. He said, "Hey, you gotta play it for the bumper," and I thought he was kidding. I thought it was like an unreleased Led Zeppelin song.
Sure sounds like it.
Yeah, right. And so, by the way, I tweeted out the 2004 movie Collateral, the Coyote Scene. So that's what's out there. The downtown LA Coyote Scene is was supposed to wind up in the cutting room floor, but Michael Mann put it in the movie. If you haven't seen it, an underrated movie. So anyway, Delta Force is out there, and they're getting their thing on. The aviation element is, of course, the legendary 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, or 160th SOAR, and who have a near habitual relationship with Delta Force. If Delta Force needs them, they get them. They also work with U.S. Army Rangers. There were some Rangers here in L.A. because these days, more and more, just so you understand the division of work. Special Forces, you can drop Special Forces anywhere as a team of 12 guys, and they can talk to the Air Force, they can talk to the Army, the whole thing. Delta Force and Special Forces guys very rarely work together because they have such different missions. But Delta Force loves and has loved working with Rangers since the early 90s, because when you absolutely positively need meat on the ground, because you don't have enough guys to hold terrain, Delta Force can crack into any building and do some amazing crap. They just can't hold terrain. It's not their gig, not their job. So they work with Rangers, just like they did in '93 in Mogadishu, and many, many other places you've never heard of because they didn't go sideways. They worked just fine. So anyway, that's what was going on. One of the theories, one of the conspiracy theories is just wild, and it was it came on the heels of that Cessna 414 that crashed into Yorba Linda.
As you can see, there's quite a few cars stranded on the way up the mountain. It is 9 p.m. and it takes quite a bit of time for tow trucks to get to you. So don't push it. If your car's not doing too well, pull over and give her a break. You do want to get to Big Bear, so make sure you get there. There aren't quite enough tow trucks, so it sometimes takes hours to get to you, and they may not even tow you to Big Bear. So take your time. Don't run your air conditioning on your way up the mountain. I know that doesn't apply to any car I drive, but we can't all have beautiful cars, so turn off your AC just to be safe. Open your windows. The minute you get halfway up the mountain, 2 turns up the mountain, you'll you'll know what I'm saying. You don't need AC. Well, we are about to get to Big Bear, so are you.
Well,
I'm glad you came for a drive with me, us, BigBearRideService.com. Many more of these to come in the future as my subscribers increase. And once I get over 100 subscribers, I'll start putting out daily videos. Excuse the ads, I don't get paid for those. They are very minimal, 10 cents, and any money that is made will go directly to charity. I've chosen St. Jude's charity since I had a sister die of cancer. It'll state at the bottom as well. You don't have to do anything, just like, thumbs up, video you like, thumbs down if you don't. That's all. For every 100 likes, I think they give me 7 cents. Woo! And that 7 cents will go to charity. So, help me get those subscriptions. They're free. Please. If you've ever loved me, Danny Compton, subscribe to my channel, The Big Bear Ride Service. Thank you. To all my friends and family, have a great night and a happy 2019.
And unlike prior past years, I'd like to be redundant. There was a Navy P-8 beside me, which is a 737 that's jam-packed and all kinds of sexy electronics. So that was one thing that made the 7% a little bit different. And I'll tell you an open source pet theory that I have about this. And also, as I'm reading a guy who says on the Twitter, urban training is common. However, I have yet to find any reference to ground explosives and landing a multi-million-dollar aircraft in the middle of a populated city. By the way, there's no helicopter that costs less than $1 million. So there's that. I have researched back to 2007. Thus far, unless I missed something, nothing of this ground magnitude. Okay, well, there was a year called 1999. I know this is really hard to use with Google, but if you Google Marine Corps exercise San Francisco, the first thing that comes up was the 1999 invasion of San Francisco that the Marines were going to do. They shifted it to Oakland, just nicer people and less feces. But this has been going on for a long, long time. And so all you conspiracy theorists, until mommy calls you up from the basement, continue on Reddit or 4chan or whatever, coming up with your theories. But the bottom line is, this isn't spontaneous. It wasn't a response to that wacky
you got
guy
no tail lights,
blowing up
first of
over
all.
Yorba Linda. Had nothing to do with that. But it might have something to do with a
no tail
possible
lights.
option that's on the table.
You're gonna run into
That's a quote from Trump.
Eventually, you're gonna slide out.
Options on the table.
You guys want to watch this truck slide out? So do I. So let's stay on. Let's stay recording because there's a good chance if he keeps driving like that, he's gonna slide out. And I like to be there when it happens.
Stocking up as a strong winter storm there has dumped almost a foot of snow in spots. ABC's Carlene Johnson says grocery stores have been sold out of the basics, and hardware stores haven't been able to keep supplies in stock.
Now they're running snow shovels.
Do you have any?
No.
John Swoboda owns the North Shore Ace Hardware about 30 miles south of Seattle. Hottest item by far, snow melt.
Basically had to go to a ration system where we limited to 2 bags per customer.
Another shipment coming Monday just in time with round 3 calling for more snow and at least 2 more systems to follow that next week.
Democratic members of Congress are headed to the U.S.-Mexico border. BBC's Andy Field says House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer is part of the group flying into El Paso, where they will visit the point of entry where an 8-year-old Guatemalan migrant died in custody. They'll also visit a migrant shelter and get briefings from border officials. President Trump planning his own trip to El Paso to push a border wall later this week. The group met with immigrant advocates and visited migrant family shelters in El Paso.
We came to El Paso and we found it to be safe. We found it to be safe, and we knew that it has been safe for many, many years.
President Trump said in his State of the Union address, El Paso's border wall, completed in 2009, helped it become one of the nation's safest cities. The Grammy Awards set for tomorrow night. Alicia Keys is going to be hosting the 61st annual Grammys at the Staples Center downtown LA. Nominees for Record of the Year include Cardi B, Brandy Carlisle, Childish Gambino, Drake, Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar, and Post Malone. The ceremony is going to include performances by the likes of Miley Cyrus, Smokey Robinson, Shawn Mendes, Janelle Monáe, Dolly Parton, Diana Ross, and Travis Scott. The artist with the most nominations this year is Kendrick
Which
Lamar.
tunnel do you go through?
Scott. Crash E in East LA, this on the 5.
Yeah, you didn't do this all the time. This is sketchy. If it wasn't second nature. So just imagine 2 hours of this. Wouldn't you rather put your head back and let me do it for you? Call me, Daniel Compton, BigBearRideService.com. I am the person on the other end of the line. I am waiting to hear from you for year-round Big Bear Lake Fun. Here we are on Big Bear Bridge. Woo-hoo! We made it. Wow. It took forever. Here's the bridge I want to take my drone and fly a circle around. My roommate says I'll lose it for sure. We'll see. This will be the first place I post it for sure. If I have the chance, this will be the first place. Definitely. Prove all the doubters wrong. Otherwise, I'll take a picture of it in the creek and show everybody that you were right. Maybe I'll go live time while I fly, so everybody can see it. Not the worst travel time, just over 35 minutes to go from Running Springs into Big Bear right now. During heavy snow conditions / traffic, 35-40 minutes is a good time. On a good day, it takes 45 minutes to get from the Big Bear to the bottom. So that's not horrible. Welcome to Big Bear Lake. Officially. Where it is not nice to block the main road, especially to go sledding. I'm gonna make my own city sign and put it out there. See how long it takes somebody to figure it out. There's no plastic sledding within city limits. No plastic sleds in city limits besides sledding in toboggan hills, except paid sledding in toboggan.